At least 6 people, including 3 children, were injured after a home exploded in Plano. Good evening, I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. It's still unclear at this point what actually caused that explosion. Atmos Energy and bomb investigators, both crews, are on the scene right now. The explosion happened shortly before 5 this afternoon. The force of the blast essentially flattened the home and caused significant damage to nearby homes. One of the people injured lived inside the home that exploded. The others lived in nearby homes. Neighbors say it happened during a storm. They say they saw a flash and heard a loud shaking boom. Fox 4's David SENTENDREY spoke with some of the people affected by all this, and he's in Plano tonight. David?
Yeah, several people affected by this, Steve. And really, we were talking about those neighbors. Plenty in the area felt it, but Plano Fire says people as far as 1 mile away felt the impact from this blast. I want to step out of the way and let you see what we're seeing out here off Cleveland Road in Plano. So you can see some of this debris just sitting in the yard in front of us. This is the house directly across the street from where it happened, and debris is really just scattered throughout this entire neighborhood. You can see a car that is just covered in debris next door. That house to the left of this house that we're looking at, the house that used to be resting there, the house to the left of it is where investigators say 5 people were inside at the time. We know they have been transported. They're being treated for injuries right now. We don't know the extent of those injuries. We do not know the extent of the injury to the person who was inside the home that exploded. We have been talking with dozens of neighbors who have been out here because obviously this impacted so many people, and when we talked about people feeling it for such a distance away, this drew dozens, if not more than 100 people out to this area just to see what was going on. Many with so many questions. Of course, the biggest one is what caused it, what led to this, and are people going to be okay? So that's what everyone's asking out here. What I also want to do right now is show you guys a clip of video that we obtained just within the last hour, and that's from a different home directly across the street from where this explosion happened. He sent us this Ring video that shows right when it happened, and again, debris just flying through the air over to his front door, rattling this neighborhood. Again, we spoke with dozens of people out here today. Here's what they have to say. A home explosion on Cleveland Drive in Plano Monday evening.
I mean, it was loud booms shaking the house, and then this felt like a bomb almost going off.
The impact of the explosion felt by people living a mile away. Many walking to the scene in disbelief. It was unclear Monday night what caused the explosion. It happened as a thunderstorm moved through the neighborhood. What'd you see? What'd you hear?
I just happened to be looking out my window right as it happened, and it was a big flash of bright light. It had been lightning a lot already, and I just saw a huge plume of black smoke go up and debris go flying in the air.
Pretty quick?
Very quickly. It all happened very fast.
Plano Fire says one person was inside the home when it exploded. Most of the injured live nearby. Tony Clark says he saw children leaving the neighboring home to get into an ambulance on their own.
Yeah, I didn't see any wounds or anything on them. They walked just fine.
Investigators from the Plano Fire Department, Atmos, Encore, and the Plano Police Bomb Squad all came out to the scene. Power and gas cut off to the block. The Plano Fire Department says it's standard protocol.
The whole house rumbled, even some of our ceiling kind of rattled and whatnot, and there was like dust and everything that kind of fell.
Neighbors, however, can only imagine what it was like for the one person inside the home at the center of the explosion.
Praying for everybody involved.
So while we were in that news package, I just received a text message from the Plano Fire Department. They are telling me that we can say this is not a crime scene. They do not suspect any sort of foul play. That's what many in this area were suspecting, but again, confirmed from Plano Fire, not a crime scene, no foul play suspected at this time. So we'll be out here working to get more information and really trying to learn more about the people who were impacted inside of these homes. One gentleman who we interviewed in the package, the one who saw the children getting into the ambulance, his family says their kids play with the children in this family. So again, we'll just learn more about them as we keep trying to get more information. Steve, Heather.
All right, David, I have a question. I think the lightning strike, I guess we'll call it a theory by some residents there, is an interesting one, but it doesn't sound as if anybody actually saw something like that. They saw a bright flash, and I assume an explosion of that size is going to have a bright flash, whether it's like a gas leak explosion or a lightning strike or anything else, right? So we don't really have that nailed down at all as far as witness accounts.
It's a theory at this point in time. You know, we have that one witness who you mentioned saw the light and the flash. We do know that there was a lot of lightning in the area at that time. You can still feel the rain and the moisture from the storms that rolled in. But again, right now, investigators aren't really giving us one direction or another as to what officially caused the blast.
Sounds like they're not there yet. Okay. David Centendery, we'll be checking with you again throughout the evening. Thank you.